Welcome everyone to another episode of Beers and Bourbon with Dick and Brett. I'm Dick.
And I'm Brett.
Jesus, that was just strong, Brett.
Coming out hot.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Locked and loaded?
Locked and loaded. Let's go.
Fucking go. All right, so as always, we got, I think, a pretty solid beer from a really solid brewery, and we definitely came with it. We shared with everyone. We gave Dick, or Brett, sorry, I called you Dick. We gave Brett the option. We gave Brett.
What's going on over there, man?
I'm struggling, man.
I mean, seriously, you didn't even ask me how my day was going.
I know, that's usually what I do.
Oh, what happened, man? This guy's losing.
Should we start it over?
No.
All right, well, let's
I'm
keep
not
it going.
starting anything over. I just want to know, how's your day going, Dick?
It's a pretty shitty day.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, fucking A.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it?
I'm gonna get over it and drink some fucking beer and some fucking bourbon.
You guys like beer and bourbon?
I do.
I sure do. I think anytime that you're having a bad day, you should just resort to a little beer and a little bourbon, right? It can turn it around. You can turn this around.
A spoonful of sugar, right?
Yeah,
like that's
exactly.
Really,
you can turn it around, okay? You just tell everyone in your circle that's pissing you off that you're taking a momentary break, a little silence. You sneak off, you grab a nice beer and a nice bourbon, and hey, if you like a cigar or something like that, go for that too. Do what suits you.
I think that's pretty good fucking advice right
Yeah,
there.
why not? Right?
Yeah. Well, okay, let's get back to it. So what bourbon do we have? We shared with them about this last time. You chose it. So
I did choose it. You gave me an option. You told me Stagg Jr., right? Or you told me Rock Hill Farm. That's a tough choice. Both of these bourbons are, I mean, something special, right? Stagg Jr. released what? How many times a year, Dick?
Once
a year, right? They're amazing. You're not even gonna find this bottle on the shelves much longer. It's gonna be gone. It's gonna be a thing of the past, and in the future, you're just gonna see Stagg. It's just gonna be the short name Stagg. There's gonna be no junior involved. What's going on here is that this bourbon has met its mark in aging, and when it starts to age too much, it's hard to call it a junior anymore. But this junior has been around for some time, and it just always drops some heat.
I think the way that they did it was pretty badass.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
The fact that they had the last release was batch 18, and they said now it's an adult, so now we're gonna drop the junior.
It's like bourbon growing up, right?
That was pretty
it's starting to become
sweet.
a big daddy now, you know?
And I honestly don't think that was probably the idea at the beginning, but somebody along the way came in and was like, I got a badass idea. We're gonna stop this at 18 years and we're gonna say it's an adult. Now, there's no comparison between Stagg and George C. Stagg, in my opinion.
George C. Stagg is the original OG, the name, the B-tack, the one that is elusive. They had a hazmat one that came out. Stagg Jr. puts out some real high proof stuff too, but you're not gonna put George T. Stagg and Stagg in the same category. But I'll tell you what, it's right up there with some of the better bourbons out there, and it's really pushing the envelope.
I would stack it up against most barrel proofs, for sure. So let's get into the beer as we always do. I apologize for not asking you how you are.
That's okay.
I want to hear how you are while I pour this beer.
I'm doing fantastic. Actually, right now I'm feeling really, really good. I think I'm about to crush a burrito after this episode, so can't be mad about that. I've had a couple of days being solo, so my wife and kids are traveling right now. I'm gonna be traveling soon too. But check this out, right? Boom, I can't believe it. I'm going home tonight to just me and my dog. And we're hanging out, we're gonna be buddies, right? But until then, let's have some beers, let's have some bourbon, let's have some fun. I'm feeling great.
What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Whiskey. Took a long time to get there. It started off as Whiskey and went through 1,000 different dog names. If you've ever Googled, what should I name my dog? It's a rabbit hole. You can go down it pretty quick, and you're throwing it off every other person in your house for them to decide what they want to name that dog. It went around, it went from Turner to Weller, which I liked as well. I knew I wanted it to fall in the W category for some reason. The dog is really cool. He's a puppy, he's a golden doodle, he's more on the golden side. He's got a great personality. He's really calm and actually hasn't been that tough as a puppy. Chewed up a couple of my favorite items, but hey, you know what? I can replace those. Love for a dog is something that I have. I've always had a dog my whole life. This dog's something special. Now his name's Whiskey, so got to take that home.
Whiskey's pretty badass. I'm gonna go on the record and tell everyone, which I told him and his wife, that Weller is better. You can't. I don't know if you could call a dog Bourbon. Like
that wouldn't really work.
We drink bourbon, not whiskey, and because it's American, it's fucking American.
Yeah.
But
I took whatever I could get. I mean, honestly, if it had anything to do with my lifestyle, I was down.
If it's between Turner and Whiskey, I'm okay with Whiskey.
Yeah.
But Weller is pretty badass.
I thought Weller was the best name of the bunch, but you know what? When you're up against a couple of other females in your household, you got a lot to live up to. You got to make compromises. You're never gonna make it through life unless you compromise with your other half. You know. So.
I call it, what hill do I want to die on? And there's a couple out there that I'm going at it.
I feel like the hill that I climbed to get Whiskey as the dog's name was quite a hill, but I feel like I won that battle a little bit.
I mean, his name's Whiskey. I think you absolutely
His name's Whiskey.
won.
I mean, there you go. Cheers to Whiskey.
Cheers to Whiskey out there. So let's get into the beer. So we had, I think it was 2 episodes ago, we've done, well, let's take that back. Out of the last 3 or 4 episodes, we've done 2 Melvin beers.
Yeah.
One was a regular Melvin beer, which we really liked, which was the Huckleberry Haze.
Yeah, that one was great.
And then we did a
like
Melvin,
a Huckleberry muffin straight out of the oven.
very cakey dessert, more of like a bread, like versus like a chocolate or like a sour type dessert. And then we went into a collab with Abel Baker in Nevada, and we didn't like that.
No.
Now, we kind of said, you know, Melvin, maybe you did a homie hookup. Maybe you just put your shit on the can. That's what I'm hoping for. But I can tell you right off the nose of this, we got back to the real Melvin game.
Yeah, it smells good, man.
It's a pale ale, so you know it's going to be about 4.5 to 5%, maybe 5.5 tops. Other than that, it won't classify as a pale ale.
I'm getting some honey.
It's not all citrus.
It's not crazy, but yeah, citrus and.
I get the honey though. I like what you're saying. It's like a real kind of like.
It's like a raw honey, not like a sweet honey.
No.
I'm getting a little bit out of that on the nose.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're getting into it.
You were just.
You guys ever notice? I'm like dying to always just.
I was like, I saw him look like this in his mouth, and he looked at me. And was like, "Are we getting into it?"
I'm like my dog when I put a food bowl on the ground. It's looking at me like, Dad, when can I have it? When can I have it? When can I have it? That's how I am with beer.
You can have it.
Okay.
All right.
There we go.
Okay. Brett read the can earlier, and he started talking about tropical notes. And everything we've had has been citrus based. And not saying that tropical can't be citrus because there's a lot of fruit is sweet, but this to me is a little bit of a tang and a little bit of like a tropical mellowness. It's like, it kind of just feels like an island to me versus like that we talked about last time is like the fresh trees and the fruit being ripe.
Yeah.
I don't get that off the bat from this.
No, you light maybe a cantaloupe melon or something that you eat and it's subtle. That's what I'm getting out of it. So if there is a little tropical, maybe no like coconut or not that maybe a tad bit on the nose, but not.
It's
not
pretty
really
mellow. It's pretty mellow. What's the ABV on this thing? 5.5.
Okay.
Damn, I was right on. It talks about a mountain style pale ale, subtle orange notes, honey and pine.
Okay.
So I mean, you called the honey for sure. It is subtle. It is, and when I think about mountains, I think about just kind of like what I talked about, that freshness. Yeah. It's not. Again, it's not swinging the pendulum to the fruit that we're talking about. The follow through is, we talked earlier about a beer that made you kept bringing it back. This one is nice where it just is refreshing to me.
Yeah, it's not drying my mouth out. It's not like saying, hey, you're going to need to get right back into me. It's very mellow, very subtle. There are some really kind of cool key notes to it. I'm getting the honey, I'm getting the tropical sense that the can's telling me that I should hear. The pine maybe is where that mountainous thing comes from. I'm not really sure. I mean, because it's 5.5, it's not bringing like a heavy IPA flavor to me either, but I mean, it's sessionable, I'd say.
You know what the honey does for me is it gives it kind of that texture of honey where it's like, it kind of cascades down.
I think that's what keeps it from being dry.
Yeah, it's
right?
a little thicker,
Yeah.
a little kind of that wetter flavor. And it's weird for a pale ale because pale ales are typically dry. And this one, that's what I assume with that honey, that's what I think they're describing. Is
Where that
like,
refreshing factor comes into it.
I really like it though. I think we regained, I mean, I wasn't counting Melvin out, but we got to call a spade a spade. That one beer was shit.
Yeah, this nose is great. It's pretty good. You know, the nose is pretty good. It's
5.5.
inviting. It kind of tastes like it drinks.
Yeah.
It noses like it drinks, so it's true to itself.
Where would this take you, Brett?
All right.
You guys know that everyone out there who's been watching this knows this is my favorite part.
Okay. All right. I think I got it. So, where this beer takes me is a theme park.
Okay. Like a Six Flags.
Like a Six Flags or a Knott's Berry Farm or a Great America or
Now more of an adult or like, because you didn't say Disneyland.
California Adventure
Okay.
Park, right?
Okay.
You can't get alcohol, I don't think, at Disneyland,
You
but
can't.
there are, I guess, a few remote places that you can. If you have a ton of money, you can find yourself where you can get a drink. But this one takes me to an amusement park. So now I'm out there. I'm running around with my kids. I'm a little stressed out. I've been standing in lines. It's hot, sweating. It's a rush because I'm trying to fit in an entire day, jam-packed full of stuff. I just spent $500 or whatever on tickets, and I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that I have to not be able to return like multiple times, and I gotta squeeze it all in. Well, this beer is there to just kind of give me a pat on the back and say, "What's up, man? Like, it's okay. Just relax. Just relax, man."
It's telling you to mellow out.
It's telling me to mellow out. It's to me, this is a beer that you're drinking when you're just kind of need to just kick back and relax and just take it all in and enjoy the fact that you're not working, that you're not doing anything, even though everything around you is saying stress, stress, stress. You just need to take it in. And this beer takes me to the spot where I'm just sitting back. Maybe I'm at a table. Finally found a bar after hours and hours of grinding all day with the kids, and they pour me a beer, and this beer is just beautiful. It hits the right spot, and it's not overwhelming, and it quenches my thirst for the day, and it takes me back to appreciating everything that I do. So being able to appreciate this beer is great.
That's pretty awesome, man. I got nothing negative to say about that.
That's where I'm at with this beer. It's just a beer that I'd like to drink.
Yeah, I'd like to drink 4 or 5 of those. I think the cool thing is, I feel like you brought up some cool stuff about bringing you back to like a center, right? So the center meaning there's a lot of stress, especially as being a parent and being a father, and we're a girl dad, so I think that adds additional stress because we don't understand women at all.
No idea.
And
they say the book of understanding women is like this big and like 10 million pages. I've only gotten through like 12 pages in 12 years, so I got a lot to learn.
I don't like to read.
I don't like to read either.
Yeah. They have an audiobook?
Even if they did, I'd never finish it.
Yeah, so that's what's cool, and then you think about it, it's slowing you down and realizing, taking the moment.
Take it all in.
That's what I took from what
Enjoy life for what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just get too stressed out, as a man and providing for your family, and just there's always pressure to just do the right thing all the time. This beer just takes me back to like, you know what, just relax, have fun with it, enjoy it. If you can't enjoy the next, hour or two of the rest of your day, then what are you actually doing here? You're gonna look back later in life and go, why did I give a shit about those things? Let it go.
Melvin, I think you need to change the name from Bonita Mountain Style to Chill the Fuck Out.
Chill the fuck out. Let it fucking go.
Yeah.
Right? Not let's fucking go, but let it fucking go.
Yeah.
Right? All right, here we go.
Right. So
Stagg Junior, man, 128.4 proof. We're at 64.2 ABV. Barrel proof, unfiltered, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Antlers.
Gotta love the Stagg Junior bottle.
Rack on it.
Got some, what would you call that color back there? Is that a bronze coloring on their back label? Sure enough, this comes from the man himself, George T. Stagg.
Jeez.
Way back in 1835 when God graced us with his presence and brought us some really cool things for the history. And this guy goes down in the book. So we're about to do an ode to the man, right?
Yeah, what's crazy about George T. Stagg is back in the day, prior to any of the stuff that we're drinking, I mean, we're talking late 1800s, it was called G.O.T. Stagg.
Okay.
And that was like the distillery name. Now it's come to, so I don't know, what I don't know is why did they shorten it? But there's a lot of labels that were under the George T. Stagg distillery. And that's personally one of the things I love about Buffalo Trace. You have George T. Stagg, you have Colonel H. Taylor, you have General B. Bland. Like, you have some massive names that all owned and operated different distilleries that have become the conglomerate massive Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
I mean, you have OFC, right? You have Old Fashioned Copper, you have GOT Stagg, you have all of these different things. General B. Bland had Warehouse H, the first metal warehouse. Like, these gentlemen were the pioneers of bourbon, in my opinion, and all of them kept this company under different names. Stitzel Weller was a piece of that, came in, right? You have William LaRue Weller, which is a piece of this. All of them, and the fact that William LaRue Weller and George T. Stagg have a B tag is, to me, the ultimate honor. There's been rumors that they're going to do a blends, that's going to come out down the road.
Wow, that would be cool.
I don't think it's going to happen personally, but how cool would that be as a new lineup to the B tag?
I mean, these guys have been through it all. I mean, the years that they were putting out whiskey, they've seen everything from cancellation of whiskey all the way across the board and alcohol throughout the country. They've been through fires and floods and, droughts and
bootlegging, people stealing.
Everything under the sun that you could say that would be detrimental to a business, they fought through all of that, and they're still here, standing here today, putting out some of the best damn whiskey you can get your hands on. And the bourbon, man, it is just fantastic. I am excited. I'm gonna nose this, and we're gonna do a little comparison on what we get off of it.
The only thing sad about this is this bottle's only got a quarter left in it.
Well, it is sad, but it was good times, right? Dick and I were in Vegas. I gotta go here. This is where this nose just got me right now, real quick. Dick and I were in Vegas, and we went to go see the man himself.
We went to Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks, right? And we went up to this bar in the hotel before we went over to the concert. And Ron, he was there too. And we grabbed some Stagg, man. And we were also drinking Elysian Space Dust. But
hammered.
But man, we had a Stagg at pour, and they must have given us probably 2.5 to 3 ounces on the pour. And man, that had me feeling good that night. You know what I mean?
If you check,
it's a ramper upper.
If you checked out the trailer, which if you haven't, go back to it. Yeah. That's the picture of me and him cheersing with the cowboy hats at the bar. Yeah. We're drinking Stagg Junior.
That was Stagg Junior.
And we had a really tough decision to make because that bar had everything. We could have had all kinds of different stuff, And Brett over here was like, let's just go Stagg Junior, bro. Let's just do it. And that face he's making right now, his bourbon O face, is exactly why we went fucking Stagg Junior.
Yeah. I love it. It is. It gives me the hottest Kentucky hug, but it's so good.
It's a Kentucky hug that you want. So we have to clarify. We've talked about the Kentucky hug. We won't belittle it, but there's different types. There's the one that just naturally happens because it's too hot and it's not good. And then there's the one right now where I'm happy that it's lingering there. I'm getting this lingering taste on my tongue of I'm getting bacon spices. I'm getting some caramel. I don't taste any barrel, but it's continuing to evolve on my tongue as I swallow versus it just goes away. This one stays right there and lets you know, hey, I'm the real deal.
It's like I think to me, it's like when you microwave something, and as soon as you go into the microwave to pull it out, you see the steam rising from it a little bit, you know? And you know it's hot, but you still really, really want to eat it. And so you're trying to gauge how long can I let this cool off for before I'm gonna just shove it in my mouth, right? That's the way I feel about Stagg Junior, man. Like I wanna drink it right away, but I do also want to let it air out a little bit. It's so good.
It's refined. I mean, the funny thing is, like, you know, when you think about the Junior being taken off, the way it drinks is like I think of a senior bourbon. Like I think of a very refined, a very top shelf bourbon. So the fact that it's carried Junior for, you know, I don't know the years. I want to say it's like probably 10 to 12 years. We can go back and look. There's 18 batches, but I don't think it's 18 years where they release one every year. It could be. We'll find that out. We'll get back to everyone on that because I don't want to misrepresent it. But it drinks very refined, which Junior kind of is a little bit of demeaning to it with how well it drinks.
Yeah, man, that my tongue is having a little happy dance right now. It's going crazy. It's the top of my tongue. I just swished it all around my mouth, and it's the top layer of my tongue is like dancing right now. And they say this is an ode to the Gilded Age of bourbon, right? Which is just the history behind it is unmatched. The biggest players ever that we were just, you know, giving props to are a part of this bottle. It's fantastic.
If I was George T. Stagg, I'd be pretty happy if I could think about what my lineage was going to be with the George T. Stagg BTAC and with this.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the stuff that you can find that's the old GOT Stagg and under that old label, there's like 3 or 4 different brands, and I'm not going to quote them all because I don't know all of them, because they're coming from like late 1800s to early 1900s. A lot of the bottles were actually distilled and barreled prior to Prohibition and then bottled during Prohibition as medicinal purposes. So you think about, we're talking 120 years later from when he was making, maybe 150 years later from when he was making bourbon. And to think about, then it was probably really good. It was top shelf then, but you think about technology, you think about the way we've dialed in grain, and we understand the climate, and we have better structures up at the rick houses. I would say he'd probably be pretty happy to know that this is the final product.
Yeah.
What is the signature flavor that you get, Brett? Like, what is the signature thing that you come to? Because we've talked about the mouthfeel, we've talked about the Kentucky hug. It's inviting. You want to get into that pizza that you know is going to burn your mouth, that you put in there for 5 minutes, and I agree with you. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But what is the signature profile that you get out of this bourbon?
All right, we're going to go one more before I give that one out.
Okay, you can take your time. We can have another pour if you need to. I'm just looking for another excuse to drink some more Stagg Junior. I'll have another pour.
Hey, sure, why not? Anytime. Let's. I mean, it's just an elevated. It's an elevated note of some of my favorite things. So it's caramel. It's sweet. it's refined, it's beautiful, it's clean, it's strong. It has, like I said, it just goes down so well, and then it also packs like just the perfect amount of like finish. I mean, 20 minutes from now, when this episode is done and gone and we've already said our piece and we've done all of that, I'm still gonna taste Stagg Junior for probably a good hour in my mouth, which I think is like it's a gift, you know, because not a lot of bourbons will do that for you. You'll drink them and then 5 minutes later you have no idea what you just drank. And this one just hangs around. It's a hang around.
Hang around?
Right? But it's the good kind. It's the kind that you're like, you know, you don't want to finish the night because you know that there's more to come. And everyone, yeah, that's right. Well, everyone leaves from the party, but then there's your homies that hang out, right? Stagg Junior is my fucking homie.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Just still, it's a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how many times or how many ways to put it, but that's where I'm at. It's a step above the rest, and it still hangs out longer.
I still feel it. I finished in a few minutes ago, so I think that's a pretty like detailed description. I would say when you think about barrel proofs, this is the bar. So we typically, again, we're probably the middle of the road bourbon drinkers. We're not, beginners. We're not, all we drink is fucking B-Tax and Pappies. Like, I don't even have a Pappy. So, but when I think about a barrel proof and what I like about a barrel proof, this is the bar to match it against. This is the flavor profiles we want, the signature ingredients that we get out of those signature flavors. But the most important thing is the balance and the long lastingness, and it's not a bad thing. The long lastingness can be a bad thing where it's just too hot. Again, I come back to the Arizona or Arkansas bottle, and I'm not hating on it, but it's like the distillery is super young, it's super hot juice, it's not refined, and they're pumping it out, which is fine because it's a 4 or 5 year bourbon, where this is probably sitting at 8, 10, 12. There's no age statements on them, but it gives you that that older brother that's seen something, the older sibling that's been around the world and
they're knowledgeable, right? Yeah. They're world travelers, or they understand. For me, my tongue just keeps moving around in my mouth right now, like I'm trying to pick food out of it, but it's just trying to find more Stagg. It's just like moving all around. It's rubbing the inside of my teeth. It's like, it's addictive almost.
Obviously, to everyone out there, if you're a Stagg Junior and a George C. Stagg fan, you know what we're talking about. I personally don't know very many people that hate on the Stagg Junior or the George C. Stagg. There might be some people that say there's other bourbon out there that they like better, but I don't think that there's any cult following that would argue that this is a very top shelf bourbon.
Absolutely. So let's hit real quick. This is something that we typically try to do and fit in most episodes. Dick, what's the price point on this bottle?
That's a really good question. So up until about a year ago, when they discontinued the junior and they went to senior and people started doing store picks, you could get them for $120 to $140 was a good price.
Great price.
$120, $140, I'm snagging a couple.
I would buy up as many as they were willing to sell.
So that was last year. That was mid-year last year, okay? Now that people are doing the store picks, which we've talked about in a prior episode, so go watch it. Now they're like the new toy, and they've always been good, but it's like it drove the price up because there's more of them out there. But a regular Stagg is just as important as a store pick Stagg because they flooded the market a little bit with it. And now I've seen them go for anywhere cheapest, probably $249, $299. I've seen them up to $399.
So I have a question for you, and this is just something that I've been thinking about and wondering about lately, and that is sometimes you find a store pick to be cheaper than the secondary market on a standard bottle. And that is the thing that just befuddles me, because that seems like gift giving from the person that goes out and does the store pick and wants to share it with people. He's like trying to keep that cost down for you, and yet the market drives the actual bottle itself, the price even higher because it's harder to get your hands on. It's a great bottle, and really they fly off the shelves pretty quick. So when you get a store pick, sometimes you're finding it for $40, $50 less than you'll find your standard bottle for. And I don't know why. I wish I had an answer.
I'll tell you why. So that's an excellent point. And it does happen. I think Weller Full Proof is the most common example of that.
100%. So those things can get up way up there, and then you find some picks that are.
We just both got a pick.
Yeah,
right?
we both picked up a pick
for $200.
$200.
Weller Full Proof. I think $179, $189 plus tax, like $210 out the door. But then I see the regular bottle going for $299. Same thing with this. Now, there's two main reasons why. Main reason number one is when you're doing a store pick, you're buying the entire barrel, like you said in the prior episode. So you get the empty barrel and you get the entire contents. Depending on the age of it, it's going to be anywhere from probably 140, 150 bottles on the low end to 180. So you're getting that. They're going to bottle it for you, and they're giving you, what is that, 30 cases, right? Six in a case. That's 30 cases most likely that you're going to get. So most liquor stores will say, if you're part of my group, you get it at a lower price. Or if you're my signature customer, I'm going to reward you with this. Now, they're still hard to get. That doesn't mean that they're readily available, but I think it's a reward piece because they got it a large quantity of it. Now, the reason why the regular bottle is not as cheap is because those are allocated based off the amount of bullshit that you buy from them. So what I've been told from our local liquor stores, I'm wearing it right here, El Cerrito. There's other ones that we got out there, and we're going to drop them for sure as well. And we want to show them love, and I think they'll probably show us some love back.
100%. We're all here for you guys, the shops, the people that support us. We're here for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
so here's what happens. I've heard they have to buy 300 cases of Fireball to get a case of Weller or a case of Stagg.
That seems ridiculous.
So if you think about that, let's just say a bottle of Fireball is $15, $20 or whatever, right? They're buying 300 cases times 6, right? So what is that, 1,800 bottles of that shit? So they're spending 4, 5, 10 grand, something crazy. I'm not gonna do the quick math to get 6 bottles of this. So I think in their mind, it's like, I need to make a little bit of money back because I know all the taters want this shit. Which I'm gonna tell you right now, I wish we had like hashtags and stars. I don't fucking agree with that. Because if I shop at your store and I drop cash, you should give me this at MSRP to show me that you value me. But those are the 2 points. I think the store picks are lower because they have the bottle quantity and they want to show a little love. Now, we talked about bundles, and I'm not going to go crazy on bundles because I'm not getting fired up tonight. Go back and watch that episode. But what happens is where they double dip, that's where shops get slick, is they go like, oh, I'm going to price this at $179, but then it's really $249 or $229 because you have to buy Wheatley vodka and I can't think of what it's called. Fireball. Yeah. And the reason why they're doing that is they're going, okay, I'm going to give you the total quantity of what all this should cost at the good price for that bottle, at the normal price for this shit. But while they're buying more of that, they get more of this shit. So they're double dipping. Yeah, they're giving you a fair price, but I don't want the other stuff. The more they sell of that, the more allocated bottles they get, it drives the price up.
Yeah, and you can look at it, it's a double-edged sword, right? I mean, these guys they could just deny buying all of that vodka and all that Fireball and trying to push it and push it and push it so that they can get these bottles for you too. So be kind and respect them and show them true loyalty, and hopefully they'll reward you. If they don't, that's where the unscrupulous kind of action comes from. And if they're not giving you the bottles and you're a loyal customer and you're spending a ton of money in their shops, then that's not cool. But on the other side of things, they have a business to run, they gotta make money, and they're forced to buy these bottles and they're forced to push them out there. So it's an equilibrium thing that you need to find between you and your shop manager. So don't treat them with shit, don't treat them like shit, they won't treat you like shit, but it's human nature. At some point it's business as well. So you might give them everything you have and they might give you a little bit back. If they don't give you anything back, it's time to move on.
Yeah, and I think the problem is in talking to some of these shop owners is they got fucking trolls and the people that are the taters out there that we talked about, they don't go pay the $400 because somebody told them that Stagg Junior they have to have and they got a bunch of cash that we don't have. And so that's where it's kind of hard. Like I get frustrated, but it's hard to blame them as a business owner. If I have a bottle that I can sell and make $500-$600 or I can give it to my regular customer and make nothing, as a business owner, I want to do the second one because I know that bourbon's hot right now and it has been for the last couple of years and people are going to buy it. Where I get frustrated is these people are going to go resell shit. So like when you talk about store picks, I was part of a couple of these clubs where I had to buy all the picks and I guaranteed got all the picks. The problem is people are reselling those. I've never traded a bottle. I've never sold a bottle. Now, does that mean that I won't in the future? Absolutely not. Like I have enough bourbon that hopefully put my kids through college. But I buy it because I want my stores and my shops that I support, I want them in my bar. I want you guys to see them and go, what is that place? If I'm ever down in SoCal, I want to go there because that's my shop. Yeah. They own it, but that's my local watering hole. That's where I go get my shit. So I want repping. I want to rep their gold sticker. I want to rep their shit because I'm proud of that.
Yeah. And a lot of the times they put in a lot of hard work to make sure that we're getting quality bourbon as well. So, you know, we throw up as much props as we possibly can. Obviously, we're a bit frustrated as a consumer, but in the business-minded things, you got to understand that that's the way that it works. So treat them with respect. You know, if you get dealt a bad hand, then sometimes you got to move on. But hopefully they take care of you. I mean, we see a lot of great shops out there doing cool Easter egg hunts where they'll just place a bunch of bottles at MSRP on their shelves and then they'll open it up on a Saturday morning and you can cruise through and you know, maybe 5 or 6 people get a good bottle, but it draws a lot of attention to their shop. And then at some point, everybody's coming in, they see the bottle that they've been looking for months, and then they spend that $500 or instead of that $279 or whatever it might be. So you got to look at it at a marketing standpoint. There's ways for these shop owners to not only give their customers a great shot at getting good bourbon, but also draw in a ton of business too. So just look at it in a different light. That's the way I look at it. Like, be loyal to your customers that come in all the time, because without them, you're nothing. And with them, you'll always have a customer. And then on top of that, the hype will bring in the rest. And if you're just giving enough people a taste of what you're able to pull into your shop, I think overall that's the beautiful balance of everything.
I agree, and we're gonna hype our shops too, right? Because we do support them. Brett, I think that was a great description. I think we need to wrap this up.
Absolutely. I think it's time to wrap this up so we can get on to eating that burrito that I'm so excited about. I'm so down.
So, all right, we went Bonita, mountain style from Melvin.
We wanted to call what?
We wanted to call getting fucking back to...
I fucking want more or something like that, right?
I don't know. It was a one-off.
Let's fucking go. No. What is our logo? Or our motto.
Yeah, our
Let's
motto.
fucking go.
I think we said it brought us back to reality and recognizing we need to slow the fuck down.
Yeah, slow the fuck down and appreciate life. That's what this beer is doing. Right? Bonita, mountain style. Melvin Brewery, way to bring it back. This is a good banger to come back. It's it's just a mellow beer, and you can enjoy it at an amusement park.
And then we go, yeah, I know, I really like the amusement park. And then we go to Stagg Junior. Again, let's not talk about the obvious in the sense that we knew we were gonna love it.
Yeah, we love it.
And I think everyone out there will love it. However, what we described is this is our bar for barrel proof. We love the evolving and long-lasting flavor of this bourbon. George C. Stagg, you're a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, we love the history behind it. I'm still tasting it to this moment. It has not gone away. Yep. So if you're wondering, we're probably 10 minutes past talking about it. I think it's going to be another 30 minutes before it's all completely gone from my palate. I just love it. It lasts forever. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Agreed. So I'm gonna throw this out there, and this is 2 things that I want to put, and then we're gonna sign off.
We got 2 to sign off.
Number 1, I'm saying next episode we're going CYPB Weller. I'm calling my shot.
Ooh,
I'm calling my shot because
CYPB.
We've been talking about bourbons, and me and Brett were real strategic around. We're gonna have a bunch of those store picks we talked about. We're gonna have new stuff. We're gonna have the old stuff we brought. Last episode 107, we brought Stagg Jr., which are familiar and near and dear to our heart. I think we need to step it up a fucking notch.
He's firing me up right now.
We need to go CYPB.
Down.
Okay.
We got a lot of stories to tell about this bottle too.
So CYPB is number one. Follow me. Number two, what we're saying is when we get to 200 subscribers.
200, right?
200 subscribers.
We're not going to tell you the subscriber amount that we have right now, but you can check down below and you can see where we're at, right? And we're following it like a hawk. We want to see that it grows, because I can't tell you exactly where we stand at this point in time.
I'm not
playing.
Damn,
he's not playing.
So we're not going to cash the bottle, but our pick for the 200 subscriber episode is going to be George T. Stagg. And I think it's the next progression because we gushed on George T. Stagg, G.O.T. Stagg. We talked about how this is crazy that it's a junior. We talked about how cool it is that they did 18 batches and it got refined to Stagg, right? So it's an adult. But when we hit 200, and there's 200 of you out there that are following us, this is where we're going.
BTAC.
BTAC.
George T. Stagg.
2019 bottle.
That sounds like a goal to me. If you guys want to hear what we think about this bottle, just tell everyone to subscribe because I want to hit that 200 mark more than ever now. I'm super excited.
All I got to say is, this is Dick and Brett out. Let's fucking go.
That's right. Thank you very much.